67% of the total calories eaten in today's Western world comes from these three foods that cause belly fat. Welcome to LiveLeanTV. I'm Brad Gutcher from LiveLeanTV.com. So guys, on today's episode, I'm sharing 3 foods to avoid for flat stomachs. Now, let me repeat that scary stat that I just mentioned. On average, 67% of the total calories eaten in today's Western world comes from 3 belly fat causing foods and their derivatives. Now, the 3 foods to avoid for a flat stomach are corn, soy, and wheat. Now you may be thinking, well, I only eat a lot of one of these foods, which is probably wheat. But guess what? You're probably eating more corn and more soy than you think. The reason is the derivatives of corn and soy are used in the processing of many other foods, including meat. And the reason why so many processed foods contain these 3 foods comes down to profits. They're cheap. So unfortunately, when the wallets of the food executives get fatter, it usually means the consumer's belly is also getting fatter. So corn, soy, and wheat is not just cheap to add to processed food for human consumption, it's also cheap to add to animal food. So corn, soy, and wheat are used as feed to fatten up farm animals. Now let's look at cows, for example. Have you ever seen the difference in the size of a grass-fed cow versus a grain-fed cow? Not only is it cheaper to feed cows these grains, but it also fattens them up since the cow's digestive system was never meant to consume them. Cows are meant to eat grass and other forage, not corn, not soy, and not wheat. So this creates a win-win for the food manufacturers. Cheaper feed and fatter animals equals more profits. The unnatural feed also reduces the nutritional value of the grain-fed meat being consumed by humans. So grain-fed cows versus grass-fed cows have a much lower ratio of healthy omega-3 fatty acids to inflammation-causing omega-6 fatty acids, as well as lower levels of CLA, which is a fat-burning and a muscle-building healthy fat. Now, this doesn't help as today's grain-obsessed diet already has an omega-6 to an omega-3 fatty acids ratio of approximately 30 to 1. And guess what? The optimal healthy ratio is closer to 2 to 1. So simply put, guys, unhealthy animals equals less healthy meat for human consumption. And this is why I always recommend you invest in humanely raised grass-fed beef over conventional grain-fed beef. But this doesn't just affect cows, it also affects animal meat, including chicken and fish. Now, many conventional farms raise chickens on an unnatural diet of corn and soy and are cooped up in cages. Now, this makes the chicken and the eggs less nutrient rich for human consumption. The healthiest chickens are allowed to roam free and eat grass and other forage. And when it comes to fish, farm salmon are fed corn and soy. Once again, this throws off the omega-3 to the omega-6 ratio and is passed on to humans in the form of lower quality and less healthy food. So when possible, always go with wild fish. Now, these are just examples to show you that you're probably consuming more corn and soy and their derivatives than you think, as it may be passed on to you via the conventional meat that you're eating. Other corn, soy, and wheat derivatives include vegetable oils like corn oil and soybean oil, sugars like high fructose corn syrup and maltodextrin, soy protein and soy lecithin, and refined wheat flour, which is found in pretty much everything. So guys, you mainly find these derivatives in processed foods such as bread, pasta, wraps, cereal, potato chips, popcorn, ketchup, marinades, sauces, salad dressings, and breaded chicken fingers. And guys, the list goes on. So think about this, 5% versus 67%. So since we still possess 99% of the same genetic structure as our ancestors, we probably should be primarily consuming unrefined whole foods as close to what our ancestors ate. Now, since our genes control many functions in the body, it's important to limit the foreign processed foods that our digestive systems and our bodies are not built to thrive on. And from what I've read, only approximately 5% of our ancestors' total calories came from corn, soy, and wheat. So when you compare this 5% figure versus today's 67% figure, it's no wonder why so many people are walking around with a little extra belly fat. And here are just a few reasons why a diet high in corn, soy, and wheat can cause belly fat. Number one, refined corn and wheat flours and high fructose corn syrup leads to insulin resistance. So excessive consumption of these belly fat friendly foods causes frequent blood sugar spikes, thus increasing the production of the fat storing hormone insulin. Now, excessive insulin production reduces the cell's sensitivity to insulin, thus creating a fat storing environment, which may lead to more belly fat storage and potential diabetes. And number two, increased exposure to belly fat causing xenoestrogens. So genetically modified soy and corn crops can be high in pesticides and herbicide residues such as xenoestrogens. Xenoestrogens act as an estrogen mimicking hormone in the body, thus potentially leading to more belly fat storage. Now, soy and its derivatives also contain phytoestrogens, which may create a fat storing environment in the body. So if you've ever heard of man boobs, thank the phytoestrogens for that. And number three, an increase in food intolerances to soy and the gluten found in wheat. Now, many people are discovering differing levels of food intolerances to the soy and to the gluten in wheat. And not only is this bad for your overall health, it can actually create that extra bloat in your belly. So now that you've seen how you're probably consuming more corn and soy than you think, add that on top of all the wheat-based processed foods, such as those breads, the cereal, and the pasta that you're eating every day. And as mentioned, not only do these foods spike your blood sugar and make you hungrier throughout the day, they are also lower in nutrients. They're higher in calories, and many people can't properly digest them. So all that is a recipe for fat gain. So guys, here are just 2 tips to avoid these belly fat causing foods. Number one, eat whole natural foods whenever possible. So always choose one ingredient foods over the processed and the packaged foods. So just ask yourself, how many ingredients does this have? So if you think of broccoli, how many ingredients does broccoli have? 1. Also consume grass-fed beef, free-range chicken and eggs, wild fish, and organic fruits and vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And when you're at the grocery store, stick to the outer perimeter of the store. Usually those inside aisles are usually filled with these corn, soy, and wheat-based foods. Also, don't tempt yourself by bringing these processed foods into your house. If you need to fulfill a hunger craving, go out and buy it. And rather than snacking on potato chips or corn chips cooked in vegetable oil or flour-based pitas or breads, opt for potato chips cooked in avocado oil and vegetables dipped in homemade guacamole. By focusing on consuming the majority of your carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables, it's a game changer when it comes to getting rid of the belly fat. And always try to avoid pre-packaged salad dressings and sauces, as they mainly contain soybean oil and high fructose corn syrup. You guys gotta take control back of the ingredients that you're feeding yourself by making your own salad dressings, your own marinades, and your own sauces. But if you have to buy packaged dressings and sauces, always ensure you look at the ingredients and make sure they're made with a healthy oil like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. And the other tip, guys, this is a fun one, save those foods for your weekly cheat meal. I'm not saying you can never eat corn or soy or wheat again, but I am saying that they should be consumed in moderation. And one way to do this is to save them for your weekly cheat meal. I did a whole video on cheat meal rules. You can watch it right here. So bottom line here, guys, it's up to you to take control of your health and get educated and taking action by reading the ingredients list and preparing the majority of your own food. Don't let the food marketers fool you with their deceiving food labels and the advertisements. The choice to be healthy, to lose belly fat, and get your flat stomach is yours to make. And if you want our help with that, guys, I highly recommend you go take our free Live Lean Body Quiz to find the best program for you based on your goals. I'll put a clickable link in the video description down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and keep living lean.